Imagine a world long before skyscrapers and smartphones, where the very first seeds of civilization were sown. A land between two mighty rivers, where innovation, culture, and power converged to shape the course of human history. Welcome to Mesopotamia, the cradle of civilization. Here, in the Fertile Crescent between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, ancient peoples embarked on one of the most transformative journeys in human history. But what made this place so special? It wasn't just the rivers, it was the fertile land that allowed early humans to move beyond hunting and gathering to something far more powerful: farming. Over 10,000 years ago, the Sumerians and other early settlers began to harness the power of these rivers. They built intricate irrigation systems, canals and dikes to control the water and feed their crops. Wheat, barley, and flax became staples, fueling the rise of permanent settlements. Life in these early settlements was simple, yet transformative. Mud brick homes dotted the landscape, and people worked the land, planting, harvesting, and storing grain. But this wasn't just about farming. It was the beginning of a new way of life. The surplus crops allowed people to stay in one place, paving the way for the rise of cities, trade, and eventually empire. By around 3500 BCE, Sumer, one of the first great civilizations, had emerged. Cities like Ur and Uruk were born, and with them, the concept of the city-state. These weren't just settlements. They were hubs of culture, religion, and innovation. And they had one thing in common: power. One of their most groundbreaking innovations, cuneiform, one of the world's first writing systems. Wedge-shaped symbols etched onto clay tablets allowed the Sumerians to record everything from laws to trade transactions to stories like the Epic of Gilgamesh, the world's first great work of literature. But there was another element that defined Sumerian society: religion. The ziggurat, massive step pyramids dedicated to gods, towered over the cities. These temples weren't just places of worship, they were symbols of power, both divine and earthly. The Sumerians believed their rulers were chosen by the gods themselves, blurring the lines between religion and politics. As powerful as the Sumerians were, they couldn't hold on to the reins of Mesopotamia forever. Enter Sargon of Akkad, a warrior king who in 2334 BCE united the region under one banner, forming the first empire in history. The Akkadian Empire was born, stretching its influence far and wide. Sargon's empire spread across Mesopotamia, Syria, and parts of Anatolia. For the first time, the region was unified under one rule. But like all great empires, the Akkadian Empire faced challenges: constant warfare, internal strife, and invasions from nomadic tribes. By 2154 BCE, the Akkadian Empire had crumbled, but the legacy of empire was far from over. Enter the Babylonians, under the rule of Hammurabi. Hammurabi, one of Mesopotamia's greatest rulers, brought stability to the region with his famous Code of Laws. Inscribed on a massive stone stele, the Code of Hammurabi was revolutionary, offering a glimpse into the social and moral fabric of Babylonian society. An eye for an eye, it proclaimed, setting the foundation for justice that would influence future generations. Under Hammurabi, Babylon flourished. Grand architectural wonders, like the Hanging Gardens of Babylon, were constructed, and though his empire eventually weakened after his death, Babylon remained a powerful symbol of Mesopotamian grandeur. Then came the Assyrians, masters of military strategy, brutality, and empire building. At their height, the Assyrian Empire stretched from Mesopotamia to Egypt, dominating the ancient world with their advanced warfare tactics and ruthless conquests. Known for their savage treatment of conquered peoples, the Assyrians instilled fear across the region. Their armies would tear through cities with terrifying precision, crushing all opposition. But this brutality would come at a cost. In 612 BCE, the Assyrian Empire came crashing down. After years of internal rebellion and external attacks from the Babylonians and Medes, Nineveh, the capital, was sacked, signaling the end of Assyrian dominance. But Mesopotamian history was far from over. The Babylonians rose once again under Nebuchadnezzar II. His reign saw the return of Babylon to its former glory. The city became a beacon of wealth, culture, and grandeur, boasting architectural marvels like the Hanging Gardens, one of the seven wonders of the ancient world. But like all empires, Babylon's light would eventually fade. In 539 BCE, Cyrus the Great of Persia marched into Babylon, overthrowing its rulers without a fight. The Persians now controlled Mesopotamia, and the region would enter a new chapter under foreign rule. Through the centuries, Mesopotamia would change hands again, first to the Greeks under Alexander the Great, then to the Arabs in the 7th century, bringing Islam to the region. The ancient civilizations of Sumer, Akkad, and Babylon faded into history, but their influence lived on. Though Mesopotamia as we knew it is no more, its legacy lives on in the foundations of modern society, our systems of writing, law, and governance. The cradle of civilization may have fallen, but its echoes still shape the world we live in today. Thanks for journeying with us through the rise and fall of Mesopotamia. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into the ancient world. Until next time, keep exploring.